the gentleman yesterday afternoon was how to have that broader conversation about rendering under Caesar what is appropriately Caesar's in the legal context. However, today, and to conclude, and thanks for members of the faith community who are standing with me today, that I don't want to have a national debate about freedom of religion when my whole purpose is to defend a strong and wonderful and appropriate city ordinance against local attack. And by taking this step today, we've removed that discussion about freedom of religion from the local arena. And thank you for being a part of this announcement today. And I want to thank, again, Pastor Rasmus and Harrington and the men of faith who traveled from all across the United States to have a civil conversation with me yesterday afternoon. Are there any questions?
Pastor Rasmus, there has some thoughts.
Please.
Mayor. It's good to be here today. Rudy Rasmus. I grew up in Houston, Texas with 2 water fountains. This is my home, my birthplace. I love the city. Because when I was a child, I decided, you know, this city can be better than that. I've watched Houston become the most diverse place in the world. I've seen the city grow into an incredible place to live. I love the city. I'm a person of the faith. I believe that there's never a place for hatred where there's hope. Today I'm glad to be a part of this moment. I think this moment is significant here. I appreciate you. I'll tell you, I'm excited for the future of this town.
Thank you. Are there questions?
So, Mayor, was there one thing that those pastors from across the country said to you yesterday that persuaded you? Did you say they seemed like reasonable, they wanted to talk to you about it? Was there an argument they presented to you that tipped it in this direction?
Well, I said it started with a conversation I had with these 2 gentlemen early in the morning, and actually it may have started Sunday morning when his wife was preaching. But it was the fact that they had no stake in what goes on down here. That it really wasn't about anything that was happening here. It was that we had inadvertently stepped into something, a national debate that is already going on, and escalated it. And their question to me was that my intention? And if not, for the sake of the country and the conversation that's going on all around the country of the appropriate role of the clergy, if that was not my intention, would I be willing to take it down? And we had a good conversation, and that was the most persuasive argument, because to me it was, what is the goal of the subpoenas? The goal of subpoenas is to defend against a lawsuit and not to provoke a public debate. And they also asked me, we had a conversation about, they were quite aware that lots of politicians have been using this issue to generate political controversy, and they were quite clear that that wasn't their concern. They were men of faith. They were not involved in politics. They don't care who the next governor of the state of Texas is. They don't care what happens with this particular lawsuit. It's what is the purpose of the lawsuit and the subpoenas, and does this broader debate forward that purpose? And it did not. Clearly, that was the persuasive argument.
Mayor Parker, what was that organization that you met with? Was it the Coalition of African American Pastors?
There were 7 faith leaders from across the United States. I have 5 of them listed here. Reverend Rob Schenck, President, National Clergy Council; Reverend Pat Mahoney, Reformed Presbyterian Church of America; Pastor Mike Crowder, National Clergy Council, and a pastor from Utah, Pastor David Anderson, Faith Baptist Church from Florida. So there were a number of another pastor from Arkansas, different denominations, and they represented, again, they indicated that they believed that I had inadvertently stepped into a broader conversation that perhaps I didn't want to make the city part of, and they were correct.
Was the pastor from Utah, Reverend Owens?
No.
All right, thank you.
Mayor, the opponents of the Equal Rights Ordinance, which I guess how this all started, filed a lawsuit. You know, they're still dissatisfied, even though you decided to pull the subpoena down. I mean, obviously...
I didn't do this to satisfy them. I didn't do this for them. I did it because it was not serving Houston. It was not serving our goal in defending the lawsuit, and it was dragging the city of Houston and the citizens of Houston into a debate that I didn't intend for them to have.
How do you feel about, do you feel like you misjudged the reaction? Because now there's going to be like a 5,000 people rally planned for this weekend, and all the stuff that sort of related to the sermons. So do you think initially when the subpoenas were issued, and then you've had several news conferences and responses, do you think you misjudged how it was going to be perceived in the broader context?
Well, clearly. I mean, but the first answer is there are 1,000 lawsuits pending every day against the city of Houston, where we're on one side or the other. And no, I don't read every legal filing. I wish I could say I did, but I'm not that much of a speed reader. But as soon as it was brought to my attention, I understood what the lawyers were trying to do, because we weren't trying to interfere with what they were preaching. We were actually, these were 5 pastors who said, we're responsible for this petition drive, and we said, okay, we have some questions about the petition drive. But the wording of those subpoenas was clearly inappropriate. And so we said, okay, we're sorry about that. We need to fix that. And we did. But the broader political and religious debate continued. And the gentleman that came and met with me, it wasn't about the politics of anything. It was about that broader religious debate, and that's what proved persuasive.
Well, why not just put it on the ballot, I'm sure, and just sort of silence your critics once and for all and let Houstonians vote on
This
it?
is not about silencing our critics. It is about doing the right thing.
And therefore...
The right thing is to defend the Charter of the City of Houston and the Constitution of the United States, and we are a system of laws, and they failed to meet the legal standard to put something on the ballot.
Question for the attorney, a question about the discovery process, perhaps for Mr. Feldman. I'd just like to clarify something. Normally,